Good afternoon, on what is a bright, warm and changeable day. It is Friday the 19th of August. I have a stack of parcels to unbox and a nice cup of tea. So, next I'm going to do this one. What we have in here is that. Okay. This is Viral, a modern Call of Cthulhu scenario which I edited. And this is my editor's copy of essentially what is the unredacted print copy. There's a lot of extra content in here in the print copy than what originally appeared in the scenario itself. Now, okay, so what we've got here is essentially we are the Spectral Crew, and we go places and do things you would never do. Marco Proudfoot, producers of a popular ghost hunting YouTube channel called Spectral Crew, are planning to illegally visit Isola de Malamente, an island off the Italian coast, to broadcast live as they attempt to uncover evidence of a genuine haunting and thus become internet sensations. All goes well until they find that their ride off the island has disappeared, and they began to see more than dust orbs and incoherently blurred photos. They soon learn that there may be someone or something else on the island, and that the history of the place may be darker than they could ever have imagined. Viral is a Call of Cthulhu scenario set in the modern era and can be played in one session or several depending on how the keeper wants to run it. And it's been designed to use the 5 pre-generated characters provided, but the suggestions for using alternative investigators. So this is from Critical Hit Publishing, which publishes things like Carnival of Madness and essentially grindhouse style scenarios for Call of Cthulhu, and Bud of Bud's RPG Reviews, that you may well know his YouTube channel, and of course you may well know him by his hands. So this is a Call of Cthulhu scenario set in the modern period, and the number one problem if you're running a Call of Cthulhu scenario in the modern period is the mobile phone and the internet, because your investigators can just look anything up, they can make a phone call, simple as that. They are never out of contact, they have never had that sense of isolation. This scenario does something clever to with that technology to enforce a sense of isolation. And fundamentally what it does as you're playing through, the access to the internet and modern technology is used to push the investigators forward into revealing more and discovering more and more things, most obviously deleterious to their sanity and their health. And it also essentially monitors and manipulates them. And essentially does that whole thing sort of like essentially through like commentary coming through via a YouTube channel. Because one of the fundamental drives in this scenario for the investigators is to get their viewers to the 1 million mark and hit the big time and start making serious money from the YouTube channel Spectral Crew. So we get into essentially here's the introduction for the investigators from Marco Proudfoot, and we'll just carry a warning that this is intended for mature audiences, and it's a mature scenario. We'll get to an introduction and so on, and we actually have based explanation Spectral Crew, that's Marco Proudfoot, and in modern terminology, he's an arse. And the thing is, this even right down to the back, you've actually got sort of like a page of merchandise that you can get for the Spectral Crew, and some of this actually you can get. Certainly there is the t-shirts available, and the patches. Sorry, the t-shirt and the patch. And here we've got essentially a presentation of the player characters, the investigators. You can use, and this really is a scenario which you want to play with the 5 pre-generated player characters, because it's very much themed around the 5 characters and their foibles and personalities, all of which you really want to call for really good, strong role playing. It really does demand that. And because I play tested the scenario, play tested it the original scenario in its original format, and also what it developed into as a Call of Cthulhu scenario. So here we've even got a list of the Spectral Crew gear. Essentially, this is all ghost hunting information before we get into the timeline and the history of the island, an explanation for the keeper as to what's going on. And then we have One Night in Pella. This is the first section of new content, a preview for the scenario, which essentially the investigators arrive in this town on the night of the festival, which is somehow kind of linked to the island, and they can do a bit of investigation. It provides a lot of sort of kind of colour and flavour before they get there. Almost the sort of like the reaction of the local inhabitants to the island itself, although they're not necessarily aware of it. Here they are enacted, and that's that festival where they burn disease. And some NPCs. Before we actually get into a Sola de Malamente. And actually sort of like we've got the keeper secrets there as well, quite detailed. And there we've got to start the explanation and detailing of the various locations, like the lighthouse, because it actually consists of 2 islands. The smaller one, which has got a lighthouse connected by a bridge to the larger one, where there is a former hospital. We actually have recordings in there which can be found and played in Italian, and then if they get translated as well. And we have actually gone to a native Italian speaker and got his expertise in there as well, so just for that extra verisimilitude, and he's had a good read through it as well, and just to give sort of just a good overview of it, and various locations, and the scenario sort of does have a sort of like a countdown where you to a planned sort of like big event at midnight on the day on the sort of like the day on which the team's going to spend on the island. So constantly pushing towards that as they explore, and then basically we get to sort of like end scene with potentially quite a cinematic ending, which is explored here in detail, and again that's new, and there's an expanded ending as well, and then all the details are sort of like the appendix that's in here. It's got all the encounters, and new rules as well, specifically for the scenario. Of course, you could use it for your Call of Cthulhu in ongoing new Mythos horrors. And the scenario does make use of a Cthulhu entity, which is in the monstrous Malleus Monstrorum, but really hasn't been used elsewhere. But I won't detail that. That's for you as the keeper and player to discover. Got new spells plus tips from Baird himself in running it, and player handouts. So we've got quite extensive player handouts. You've actually, so essentially there's the official map of Isola de Malamente, the island, kind of redacted, and then we should have an unredacted map somewhere, but we do have notes on how to be a ghost hunter, and that includes tips and use of equipment, and also what to watch, because Bud is quite extensively done a lot of research into sort of the ghost hunting style of play. Marco's emails, Maya's emails. Maya is part of the team. She's an NPC who sits back and controls the broadcast onto YouTube. There's the island, basically, with unredacted, with sort of like via sort of like an email, and then notes with notes and so on. And we have maps also of the hospital, some research from one of the characters, images of the lighthouse and so on, and even a copy of Marco's introductory script, which he will perform at the start of the scenario, at the start of the broadcast. And then it's really just images and so on to show the investigators as they go through. Quite a lot of those, to really kind of benefit, really help bring the scenario alive. And then we've got, of course, scenarios for basically handouts and stuff for the keeper, like that. Quick flash of that. I'm not going to dwell on that too much. And then we've got the pre-generated characters, and again, there are rules or guidelines in here for running it with different characters, but really kind of works with this with the Spectral crew. And they've got quite detailed histories on the back, and how they interact and what they think of each other, which really does drive sort of like the role playing in the scenario. So yeah, everything in there you need to play. If you really want to add that degree of verisimilitude, you make the players wear Spectral Crew t-shirts and hats, but that's going the extra step, of course. So that's Viral Unredacted, a modern Call of Cthulhu scenario from Critical Hit Publishing and Bud's RPG Review. Of course, I'm going to recommend it. So I really think it's a fantastic adventure. I'm biased because I worked on it, and I'm really looking forward to working on the sequel and seeing what happens with that, and giving it a play test. We'll see what comes of that. But yeah, this is obviously available on the Drive-Thru RPG to download or print on demand. But as you can see, just through some of the artwork, there's a lot of exciting design going into it. Great artwork, and Alex Guillotte has done a great job on this with both the artwork and the layout. So anyway, that's Viral Unredacted. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you have any comments or feedback, appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel and a book which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook video. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.